Okay, we're standing here with Don Cosby, our county historian, up in the research room of the museum. It's September the 10th, and Don has brought in this file cabinet that has been in his house, and which has been storing a lot of his things. So Don, can you tell us a little bit about what this is, what you've got in it, and why it's significant for us here at the museum?
Well, this has been a project waiting to happen. I have talked about this numerous times with those here in the museum, as to the fact that sooner or later, one of these days, all of what I have been able to compile in the way of historical material will end up here in the museum. And so as a result, the day of reckoning has come. So we've have now gotten to the place where they were ready to accept this stuff. So I got a lot of it together. There's numerous things here, as you can see. I'll go through and name some of these things that might be of interest to those that are interested in Davis County history. This not only is history of Washington, but it's history of Davis County as well. And so there will be a number of things here that we'll be talking to. I don't want you to think that it is strictly for for Washington, because there are things here in this room that have a lot of historical facts, other parts of the county as well. But one of the important things that I needed to make a decision on in the very beginning was the fact that at some point in time my records were going to have to be assumed by someone. So I went through it. I talked to all my children, and after some discussion as to what they would do with them if they had them, no one seemed to have the answer. So I finally told them, if no one has a place to be able to house them and display them, the proper place for them is the Davis County Museum. So that's where we are today. So we went over this morning and brought a lot of the things in, and I had a 5-drawer file cabinet at home. It had a case of the uglies, and they didn't really want it to distract from what has been done here, and so they decided that they would find a new cabinet for it, and so that's what we're doing, basically bringing those files in. So I'll be in the process of transferring these out of these cardboard boxes into the. Here you have 150. There are 150 different topics that will be covered, and they're all indexed according to numbers, and they are in numerical order. So they'll be here in the archives room or in the research room here at the museum for anyone to reference that might be interested. So there's 150 files. I might mention some of the topics. Here's a whole list of them. Things such as a file on Davis County First Black Foals, baseball, Washington High School basketball, ice houses, murder of Emil Davies, Gill Funeral Home exhibit, and so on. So there's 150 of these different topics that will be in this file cabinet as soon as I can get them all arranged. In addition, I have had something like 38 different Washington High School annuals, and so there's a whole box here of high school annuals, and of course we have in the archives room here for your research the several of the Washington High School, as well as all of the county schools as well, Bar Eve and even the smaller county schools like Alfordsville and Cornettsville and so on. So those will be added to that, and I'm sure that we'll find a lot of duplication. And one of the other items that I have always found so important in researching, especially in researching family genealogy, is the old city directories. And so I also brought, I didn't count how many I have, but there's a whole box of those that we'll be adding to the ones that we already have here. Then, of course, we also have all three of the histories of Davis County, which date way back to 1886. The Goodspeed, we already had a copy of the Goodspeed history book of Davis County, Davis and Knox County, but I am going to add 2 more copies of that to the research room here. The copy of the A.O. Fulkerson Davis County History and Rex Myers Volume 1 and Volume 2. And so those will be added to what we have here also.
So Don, people might be curious, when did you start compiling this information? Like in this file cabinet, how many years are contained in that?
I don't know. I went through, we have so many old scrapbooks here, and I've gleaned those and taken out all of the historical files from those things, and it dates way clear back to the early 1900s, and I tell people that's where about 90% of whatever I know has come from those old scrapbooks. So it's they've really been important in the research. So we have all of those.
Do you have any? Would you say there's any personal favorites for you that you found that you've stored in there? Just interesting stories or fascinating people, or other noteworthy events that you think are of particularly interest?
Well, we've had a number of characters throughout history, and of course that would be too numerous to even start, but I can't imagine any community that would have any more pride in ownership of the past than we have here in Davis County. So that's for me at least, that is the case.
Well, thanks for your time, Don, and thanks for the interview and all you've done here as our county historian, and for bringing all of this material into the museum for people to check out in our research room very soon.
Okay, thank you very much.
And thanks to everyone for watching, and have a great afternoon.